tickets are $75 a person. That includes this marvelous gourmet meal as well as the program. All you have to do is go to am950radio.com. That's where you order your tickets. It's Sunday, March 30th, 2 to 5 p.m. We are celebrating Maddie McNeil and 15 years. Oh, please come and join us. You don't want to miss it.
With a look at your AM 950 forecast, my name is Adam. Expected chance of rain or snow today, a high of 47. Tonight, cloudy, still a chance of snow, a low of 22. Celebrate 15 years of Matt McNeil on AM 950, Sunday, March 30th from 2 to 5 p.m. at Crooner's Supper Club. Live on stage conversations with Matt McNeil, hosted by Nancy Nelson. Tickets $75 plus tax, which includes the dinner. Get your tickets now at am950radio.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and we are broadcasting from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park, located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. It's another great day here in the Twin Cities, and I am so grateful to be here with you today, and I hope all of you listening are doing well. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics to help you and your loved ones improve and enjoy the highest quality of life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in a few minutes will be Melissa Spies. She is a board-certified music therapist and neurologic music therapy fellow. And she is here today to share information about Living Spirit Therapy Services, which was founded in 2008 to increase access to high-quality music therapy services in the Twin Cities metro area. Living Spirit Therapy Services believes in the inherent potential of every individual, regardless of disability and or challenges, and the power of music to improve physical, emotional, and mental functioning. Living Spirit Therapy Services strives to build stronger communities by increasing independence, improving quality of life, providing support, and expanding resources of their members. Among the ways they strive to meet their vision are group and individual music therapy services, their Empowering Wellness Initiative, early childhood music classes, and their Gather and Grow lecture series. You will enjoy listening to my conversation today with Melissa Spies. All right. I want to thank all of you that leave us messages on our radio show phone line. We appreciate hearing from you, and we welcome your comments, questions, and, of course, topics for future shows. Also, if you are interested in being a guest on our radio show, please call or text us at 612-999-3426. You can also contact us on our website at livinghealthyradio.com. There you can find information about upcoming guests as well as listen to our previous shows. We look forward to hearing from you. We are adding new listeners to the show each week, and we are so grateful for that. Thank you. Not only here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, but also throughout the country. You can find podcasts for all of our radio shows on the AM 950 radio website. And we can also be found on your favorite streaming services such as iTunes and Spotify. And you can also watch our broadcast live on the radio station's Facebook page at AM 950 Radio. If you have a question for us today, there are two ways to reach us. First, by calling the AM 950 radio station, and our friendly show engineer, Adam, will get your call on the air. Our phone number is 952-946-6205. Once again, 952-946-6205. 6205, or you can directly text us your questions at 612-999-3426. Now, don't worry. If you missed our contact numbers, I'll repeat them throughout the show. All right. I want to welcome my guest for today's show, Melissa Spees, board certified music therapist. Welcome to the show, Melissa.
Thank you so much for having me back.
Oh my gosh, we were just talking. It was 2001. We were kind of at the latter stage of the pandemic, and a lot has changed.
A lot has changed. Yes.
It's amazing
Oh
how
my goodness.
a lot has changed. But I know people really enjoyed hearing about the services that you and your company provide. What was it, 3 years ago? And so having a chance to have you back on the show, I just jumped at that because I thought, boy, everything I'm hearing, of course, in my profession in hospice, we utilize music therapy to help our patients, and we can talk all about the great benefits that music therapy provides people that are at end of life during the show if we have time. But no, I know the demand for music therapy has gone through the roof. And I was thinking maybe we could kind of open up the conversation
would be absolutely
here.
fantastic.
Just saying,
yes.
What has changed in the last
goodness.
3 years? And it's almost like a lifetime of change that's occurred.
It's truly incredible. When I started my career as a board certified music therapist in 2003, there was maybe one job that was available every 6 months.
Yeah.
Right now, there are many positions that are open. There's companies that cannot keep enough therapists to fill the demand for music therapy. I just got 4 referrals this week for music therapists, and our caseloads are full. We're hiring as well.
Yeah.
There's just so much demand for music therapy. And it's really exciting because the community really truly understands what music therapy is now.
Right.
When I started 22 years ago here in the Twin Cities, you'd walk down the hall and somebody would say, "The music lady's here," or "Here comes the musical therapist," one of my pet peeves. It drives me nuts. But now you walk in a building and somebody says, "Oh, music therapy.
Yes.
I cannot wait." Or, and then they tell you stories about how their child received music therapy services in school, or their grandparents or parents received music therapy services in hospice. It's truly incredible how much of a difference the understanding and awareness of what music therapy is. And with that, people really, really want services and really need services. It's becoming even more of a standard to have it. And we just cannot get enough therapists in positions. And with that, I would really love to be able to share a little bit more about why the career of music therapy is so incredible, and encourage some others to join us in this amazing profession. As I mentioned during our last show, being a music therapist is an unbelievably rewarding career. I've been a board certified music therapist for 22 years. I've been actively involved in the field of music therapy for 27 years because I didn't find out about it until junior year of college, which is really not convenient.
Right.
So I'm really hoping that we can let some younger folks or folks who maybe are looking for a job change know about the field so that they can join us and help serve the amazing people in our community. I had the opportunity to do a pre-internship. I mentioned that I found out about music therapy junior year of college, and of course, there's no program there. So I ended up being extremely lucky to be able to do a pre-internship for a whole semester with Institute for Therapy Through the Arts out in Chicago, and got to observe a music therapist for an entire semester. It might have been longer actually, but it was just amazing to be able to see right from the start what music therapy is. So I want to encourage people, if you think that this might be something that is of interest to you, to look things up, to check out the profession and to see if it might be a good fit for you. It's funny. We have this routine at Living Spirit Therapy Services, my company, to share a win of the week. And so often, Monday or Tuesday, I have something that comes up, but we don't share our win of the weeks until Friday.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, oh, I want to share this.
Can't wait.
So we started a glimmer on Wednesdays, and now I still have to choose which thing to share because there's so many truly powerful things that happen every single day. That I just find so much joy and gratitude and satisfaction and fulfillment in my job. Granted, it is not an easy job. You have to really work hard. The skills that we have as music therapists are incredibly comprehensive. Um, as I'm training new therapists as they're starting out in their careers, it's funny, they get confused about why it's so hard to start right off, and we have to do like 15 things simultaneously. It's not just playing a song; it's understanding what exact elements are of the song are doing exactly what thing, and assessing the group and learning the right repertoire. So it is not easy, but it is well worth the work that we put in for it.
It sounds like it's something that is a lifelong learning process.
Yeah, that's another thing, is that we say that you're a new therapist until you've done at least 5 years. And we will never, ever be able to stop learning, because the science is constantly changing for awareness of how the brain and the body function. We're just figuring out how things logistically work, and the science on like neuroplasticity, that's a relatively new thing.
Last 15 years.
But when I started my education on music therapy 27 years ago, that wasn't a thing.
Right.
So we have to constantly keep up with all the new research and things like that. So you will never be done learning as a music therapist, which is another thing that makes it really rewarding, is that it cannot get bored.
No,
you change the population that you work with, and the setting that you work with. Change from working with older adults to kids or mental health or addiction, and you've got a completely different job, completely different interventions, completely different set of music, ways that you use the music. So there's just, you can't get bored in a career of music therapy. In the fall, music therapy was listed as the #1 most fulfilling career, according to a recent pay scale report, as reported on CNBC, which is pretty cool.
Wow. Fantastic. Well, it's time for a short break, Melissa. Let's take a short break here, folks. We'll be right back with Melissa Spies, board certified music therapist and neurologic music therapy fellow. And she's here to discuss the high quality music therapy services available through her organization, Living Spirit Therapy Services. If you have a question, give us a call, 952-946-6205, or you can text us your question at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Bruce Klopfleisch, a college political science instructor and attorney. Join me every Sunday at 5 p.m. for Politics Matters. We dive into how civics, politics, and law affect you. Discover how government impacts your daily life, from the federal level all the way down to your local city. Each week, I'll share my key takeaways and teaching moments on crucial civics concepts to help understand what is happening in the current political environment. That's Politics Matters with Bruce Klopfleisch, Sundays at 5 p.m. or anytime on your favorite podcast app.
I'm having a really hard time lately, and I'm worried no one will understand what I'm going through.
I feel so alone. I wish there was somebody I could talk to.
If you're looking for support, Mental Health Minnesota is here for you, with connections to others who have also struggled with their mental health and can provide support and resources. Services are anonymous, confidential, free of charge, and open 7 days a week. Connect today at mentalhealthmn.org or call 855-HERE-4MN today. Sponsored by Mental Health Minnesota, the Minnesota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
In these challenging times under the second Trump administration, reading can be a powerful tool to manage stress and anxiety, and Next Chapter booksellers can help. Their newest table features books designed to channel anxiety into meaningful action. From Noam Chomsky to Henry David Thoreau, it's a collection that invites you to reflect, learn, and take action during chaotic times. Explore the full list of titles at nextchapterbooksellers.com. That's Next Chapter Booksellers off Snelling and Grant, here to help keep your sanity.
Join us on Thursday, March 20th for a special live 2-hour Ghost Box radio event starting at the special time of 9 p.m. Travis Walton was abducted by aliens November 5th, 1975, and wrote about his experience in his book, The Walton Experience.
I felt like I was dying, and this is what really fueled the panic when I finally laid eyes on these creatures. They came around the table, and the three of them were coming towards me, and I just grabbed something from behind me and started swinging it at them.
The book was later made into the 1993 film Fire in the Sky. Travis Walton, along with Jennifer Stein, director of the film, Travis Walton the Movie, will join me for this special 2-hour live interview along with questions from callers. Join us for the live Travis Walton Ghost Box Radio 2-hour special, Thursday, March 20th at the special time of 9 p.m.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your highest quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Melissa Spies, and she is a board-certified music therapist and neurologic music therapy fellow. So we have a double bonus here, having her here on the show today. And she's here to discuss the high quality music therapy services available through her organization, Living Spirit Therapy Services. And Melissa, how can our listeners contact you or your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Yes, my email is melissa@livingspirittherapy.com. Website is livingspirittherapy.com. Phone number 651-363-3936.
And I encourage everybody who have an interest here in this, and this is a fascinating area of study, of therapy, of support for our communities. Great website, a lot of information there. Get a chance to learn more about Melissa and her team. And it's just chock full of so much information, and research is continuing to evolve and find out just the power of music therapy. I mean, ever since humans walked the earth here, there's been drums and all kinds of things, and it's
even
just,
before drums.
Right? No,
Stones.
I mean just stones,
Yeah,
right?
like,
Just people walking, and you just get a rhythm to life and the heartbeat. I mean, it's just, there's so many things we could dive into that we don't have time
whole
to.
nother show.
Whole nother show. But yeah, let's. I really want, again, I just like in my world, nurses. We're always looking for nurses, and the fulfilling work that hospice nurses and aides and other professions that are involved in taking care of the people that are dying,
right,
is so important. So I want to continue to explore with you just the joy and self-satisfaction that you guys get from your career, because you're seeing really miracles happen.
The things that we get to see on a daily basis are truly incredible. I think one thing that we were talking about before we went on the air was the way that working in hospice or working as a music therapist, where you're working with people who have had significant crises or illnesses or trauma, change. It completely transforms how you live your own life and how you appreciate your own life. And I think that's really important. You learn to truly appreciate everything and to really value your relationships, to not take anything for granted, and to treat people and yourself in a very different way that is a lot more satisfying than I certainly lived my life beforehand. So it transforms your own personal life as well as the lives of the people that you work with as well. But yeah, music really influences the body and brain in unique ways. The melody, the rhythm, the harmonies, the emotion, the memories, all the different components of music process the brain are processed in the brain in different areas. So if there's damage to the brain from a trauma or an illness or an injury, we can often see things and happen in ways that don't happen for other folks. We can make change happen for folks that hasn't been successful in other ways. We've had people who were told a decade earlier that they were never going to speak again, and we were able to get them to talk. I've worked with individuals who hadn't figured out how to walk yet, learn to walk. I've worked with individuals who had, gosh, it's just hard to figure out where to start. I'm just going to back up the train here a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see these really incredible responses. And with the collaboration that we do as music therapists with other disciplines can be really, really effective as well. For example, if I co-treat with an occupational therapist in a rehabilitative center, we can get people to relax who've had a stroke and are very contracted, or an individual with cerebral palsy who is really tight. We can get them to relax, working with the occupational therapist to do some relaxation training with the individual while they're doing their own techniques as well, and get them to be in a state that they can actually work on restorative or rehabilitative things or developmental progress a quarter of the time that would have taken that OT to be able to do things, because because it works so much faster than it would have been able to happen with just the techniques that the occupational therapist was doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does the music there, does it happen simultaneously, or is it sequentially?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we are actively engaging with the music simultaneously with the other therapists.
So you're doing the therapy with the music while the occupational therapist is touching or doing the movements or whatever.
Yep.
Is it something as simple as they're distracted with what you're doing, or
part of it is distraction, part of it is just the way that the body and the brain respond to the music,
because you're firing up different parts of the brain during the music therapy process that can be, again, helpful in what the occupational therapist is trying to do, like say to relax somebody or unlock somebody, or again, range of motion, all the things that the OTs and PTs all have to work with. Okay.
Another example that is just really cool, working with a physical therapist with somebody who is needing to practice standing. They'd have just 30 seconds, 45 seconds max that they could stand. But if we have them standing while playing a giant table drum, while I'm playing some music and they're playing the drum, we have to tell them to sit down at 5 or 6 minutes because they're just going, because the steady beat of the music helps recruit the motor neurons and their muscles so that they can actually work more efficiently, more active, more accurately. They don't have to work as hard. They don't feel as much pain. They don't need as much recovery time. So they get to meet their goals so much
quicker.
Faster.
Yeah.
It's just incredible how much of a difference it can make in efficiency. And these things, like people, Cal, you in the hospice world, it's really funny because the old hospice diagnosis of dementia was speaking 7 words or less, right?
Yep.
And we have to write in our notes that the patient had heightened cognitive ability due to the music because they're speaking whole sentences over and over and over again. And it's just the way that the brain responds to the music is so different that it's just truly incredible how they can do things that they cannot do in other ways or in other situations. We get to see those things and get to make them happen, which is really cool.
Yeah. All right. It's time for a short break, folks. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Melissa Spies, a board-certified music therapist and neurologic music therapy fellow. And she's here to talk about the high-quality music therapy services available through her organization, Living Spirit Therapy Services. If you have a question, please give me a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you're listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950 for Snap Construction again. Does your home feel colder than it should with the furnace constantly running? Or do certain rooms always feel colder than the rest of the house? Those are signs the attic in your home may need an insulation upgrade. Snap Construction can help by providing a free energy audit for your home's insulation. The average cost of getting new insulation can cost much less than a new furnace. Plus, Snap Construction is a BPI certified installer. That means if you use Snap for your next insulation project, you qualify for up to $650 in total rebates from your energy provider. After my free inspection, my insulation upgrade was completed within a few weeks and the rebate check was in the mail. Snap to it and reduce your heating bill this winter with Snap Construction. Call 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP for your free energy audit when you mention AM 950. Snap Construction, arguably the most well-reviewed exterior contractor and insulation company in the metro.
You've heard of caucuses, but do you know why they matter? In Minneapolis, over the last 10 years, the candidate who wins the DFL endorsement has gone on to win over 90% of the time in November. It all starts at the caucus, and you can be a part of it. The problem? Most people don't show up. In fact, only 2% of registered voters usually participate in the Minneapolis City Caucus. That means a small group of people end up making decisions for the rest of us. If you care about safety, affordability, and the future of our city, showing up at your caucus is the most important thing you can do. Caucuses aren't complicated, and you don't need to be an expert in politics to take part. You just need to show up, ready to help decide who will lead our city in the future. Whether your most important issue is public safety, housing, affordability, or creating a city that provides opportunity for everyone, it all starts at the caucuses. Visit WeLoveMPLS.org to learn how caucuses work and why your voice matters.
Paid for by We Love Minneapolis. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Hey, it's Patrick. We're headed into March, which means spring cleaning is almost here. You're about to realize that, and so is just about everybody else, too. That's why you need to beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our friends at Zero Res right now. We just had Zero Res over at our house last week, and they did such a wonderful job. They were on time, professional, and we couldn't be happier with the results. Spring is a time for renewal. Let Zero Res help you refresh your home with clean carpets, fresh floors, and improved air quality. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified from Minnesota's #1 carpet cleaner starting at $129 and take $75 off an air duct cleaning. Again, that's 3 rooms starting at $129 and $75 off an air duct cleaning. Beat the rush. Call now 9520-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com and ask for the AM 950 special. That's Zero Res. Backward or forward spells the same.
With a look at your AM 950 forecast, this is Adam. For today, a high of 47 with a chance of rain and snow. Tonight, cloudy, a low of 22. Crooner's Supper Club has an exciting mix of shows all winter long. Find the concert experience that's right for you at croonersmn.com. Don't forget to check out Maggie's Place while you're there, open all year round. That's croonersmn.com.
AM 950 KTN up, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Saturday.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Melissa Spies, an amazing, amazing person. She is board certified music therapist and a neurologic music therapy fellow. And she started her organization called Living Spirit Therapy Services. And she delivers high quality music therapy through her team and her organization. And Living Spirit Therapy Services believes in the inherent potential of every individual, regardless of disability and or challenges, and the power of music to improve physical, emotional, and mental functioning. Before we return to our conversation with Melissa Spies, I want to mention this show is brought to you in part each week by Minnesota Hospice. Minnesota Hospice is an independent, locally owned medical practice serving the Twin Cities communities with comprehensive end-of-life health care. The team at Minnesota Hospice provides patients and family members with award-winning end-of-life healthcare services. You may not be aware that hospice brings compassionate medical, social, emotional, and spiritual services to your home with typically no cost to you or your family. Please do not wait to learn how hospice care can benefit you and your loved ones. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice. Registered nurses are available to answer your questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 952-898-1022. Once again, 952-898-1022, or visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. All right, let's return to our fascinating conversation here with Melissa Spees. If you have a question for us, give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Melissa, how can our listeners contact you or your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Wonderful. Yes, my email is melissa@livingspirittherapy.com. Our website is livingspirittherapy.com, and phone number 651-363-3936.
All right. So the service pay scale, and as you mentioned earlier in the show, did a survey to find out what was the most fulfilling career. And isn't that crazy that music therapy is the number one most fulfilling career? And yet we have so many open opportunities.
Yes, we
and
do.
We're short. We have a
Yes.
huge shortage
Ugh.
of music therapists, and yet it is the number one fulfilling. And you're explaining, I mean, you're living proof of that, because I've known you now for several years.
Right.
And it's crazy.
Yeah. So if you know someone who is a musician, loves working with people, wants to help people empower themselves, encourage them to check out music therapy as a career option. You can go to the website musictherapy.org/careers/employment. That is the American Music Therapy Association website. And it breaks down more about what music therapy is, what it takes to become one. Compassion, patience, creativity, imagination, openness to new ideas, and understanding of oneself are also really important traits. But we definitely need a lot more music therapists, and especially music therapists from diverse cultures and populations. So please spread the word. It would be wonderful if people found out about this career opportunity younger, so that they could start preparing and entering school before they've entered college already at a different place.
All these young kids want to be influencers and all this kind of stuff. If you really want to influence people, go into music therapy. You can change their life.
And
it'll change yours as well.
It's literally changing lives.
Yeah.
Communication ability. I could go on forever, but I know we had some other things that you wanted to talk about.
Well, let's shift gears and let's talk about those things.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So some things that make Living Spirit Therapy services unique. And another thing that you mentioned earlier that I didn't even make the connection for is that we provide in-home services.
Yes.
When I started my practice in 2008, there was only 4 or 5 private practices in the area. Now there's way more. But I wanted to be sure to provide the opportunity for individuals to have services at home, wherever home was for them. It is so hard to get to all these appointments. Most people don't have the funding for transportation, or some folks don't have the ability to leave their home. So providing in-home services is a very important thing. All of our therapists are neurologic music therapists, and I'll talk more about that shortly. We don't follow a single model of therapy, and I think that is incredibly important and really differentiates our practice as well. And fourth, I guess, we are very strongly committed to healing our community through anti-racist action and focusing on belonging, inclusion, and dignity of our consumers and those in our community.
All right. So I know you mentioned this. There's a difference in your neurologic music therapy is really your organization, because the only people you have there are people who have been trained in the neurologic. And I know people are thinking to themselves, they're already kind of confused about music therapy. Exactly. How does that
Right.
work? And now you've thrown a curveball at us
Exactly.
and said, well, there's music therapy. There's also neurologic
Right.
music therapy. Could you talk about the differences there?
So at Living Spirit Therapy Services, all of our music therapists are neurologic music therapists. There are other practices and organizations in the area that offer neurologic music therapy, but we're the only organization that I'm aware of that requires it for all of our therapists in our area. There are several practices throughout the country that require this, but none locally that I know of. This guarantees that if you work with one of our therapists, you will receive services from either a neurologic music therapist or a neurologic music therapy fellow. There's so much demand for music therapy right now that if a practice only has one neurologic music therapist, the odds are not good that you will get placed with them.
Right.
And we specifically get calls for neurologic music therapy. So neurologic music therapy is an evidence-based clinical treatment system of music therapy that is very strongly grounded in research. There are 20 standardized techniques driven by the advances in neuroscience and the understanding of music perception, production, and cognition, and the influence of music on non-musical brain and behavior function. So when we get a referral and are working with our clients, we assess the clients using a very specific protocol, identifying what their non-musical needs are and why those needs exist. Then we figure out how we can address those issues in a non-musical way. And that's really important. We figure out what the non-musical issue or the non-musical goal is. And from there, we figure out a musical goal or a musical way that we can represent that thing that we're trying to achieve. And we transfer those non-musical exercises into therapeutic music exercises, strategically selecting the music and how we utilize it to take advantage of how the body and the brain respond to music. Finally, we teach the client how to incorporate these skills that we've learned in therapy into their daily life and reassess their abilities and needs. One of the things that sometimes gets lost in music therapy is the transfer of the skills into daily life and the non-musical parallels to the musical interventions that we are doing.
Okay, so just to make sure I'm clear on that. So an example of a non-musical need or a non-musical goal would be the ability to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. Or the ability to walk.
Exactly.
Or again, so those are non-musical, but
right.
But then what you do, and the reason why this is such a fascinating field, is you're using music therapy techniques and exercises and all those things to then help encourage that non-musical challenge and goal to be met.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's why it takes time to learn how to do this. But yet it sounds like it's so powerful, though.
It really is.
Once you do figure out how to make those connections.
Right. And making sure that you understand why the issue exists is really critical. And sometimes without going through this process, people just start doing music and figuring out after the fact why they did it. So we really figure out what the issue is, why the issue exists. And if we know why the issue exists, we can figure out what part of the brain or the body we need to change. And we can figure out how to use the music to make that change happen.
Okay, so it sounds like you guys spend some time on assessing and evaluating. And
it's constant assessment.
And so are your patients referred to you guys from, let's say, a medical practice, a healthcare professional,
Yes.
PCP, whomever?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All the
Referrals
above.
come from so many different places, but
I
yes,
suppose academics,
absolutely.
I suppose the school systems,
social
and
workers, physicians, neurologists,
Yeah, right.
case managers. I mean, the source of the referrals come in from all different places. Another example, for example, someone who has lost the ability to speak from a stroke. We use the movement, rhythm, and melody centers of the brain to create new pathways for speech. and we teach them how to sing phrases, and then we teach them how to speak those phrases after they've learned how to sing it.
So you're tapping into a part of the brain. I'm gonna simplify it for me.
Yeah, multiple parts of the brain is the key.
Okay,
it's not
so
just one part of the brain. It's not just the language center.
Yeah.
It's the language, the movement, and the rhythm centers all at once.
Got
so that
it.
if there's damage to the brain, we can incorporate more of the brain to compensate for the damaged areas.
Okay, so we've heard this for a number of years. We only use 5 or 10% of our brain, so it's like there's that we know of. Again, the
Right.
brain is the last frontier. We have so much to explore in how the brain works, but it sounds like you're able to tap into these other parts of the brain that may be able to help and help support the recovery or rehabilitation or a new pathway
Right.
to
It's like creating a
recircuit things.
detour.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. At first, it's a little rocky. It takes a while, but then
Yeah.
it becomes faster and faster, and then the preferred mode of travel.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the physiology of the human body is just amazing. How it is just so adaptable.
Mhm.
And like you say, plasticity. It's
Right.
amazing how the brain. We thought it was a fixed thing forever, and then just recently, over the last several years, we realized no, the brain can be rewired, and the circuits can be turned
That's-
on and turned off. And wow.
Yeah, and that's where we come into place.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, you know what? We got to take a quick break here. That segment went by so fast. All right, folks, we got a quick break here. We'll be right back to continue our conversation with Melissa Spees, a board-certified music therapist and neurologic music therapy fellow, and she's here talking about the great benefits of the music therapy and the services available through her organization, Living Spirit Therapy Services. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. I'm Ken Haglind, and you are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well.
End-of-life decisions are not easy to make. Hi, I'm Mary T. of Mary T. Hospice Care. It's important to make sure that this difficult time is meaningful and comforting to you and your loved ones. Our hospice team provides an individualized program of physical, emotional, spiritual, and practical care so your loved one is comfortable and not in pain. At Mary T. Hospice, we understand that choosing the right hospice care provider can be overwhelming, but we're here to assist you. Learn more today at marytinc.com.
It's no secret that medical care costs are soaring, with nursing home and skilled nursing care costs being some of the highest. You don't have to deplete your savings in order to receive long-term care. At Schroman Law, we work with families to develop and implement strategic planning for medical assistance for long-term care, for assisted living, nursing home care, or home-based care. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
Hey friends, it's Nancy Nelson. I have a special invitation for you. Do you know that Matt McNeil has been on the air here at AM 950 for 15 years? That is cause for celebration, and it's exactly what we're doing, and you're invited. It's all going to happen on Sunday, March 30th from 2 to 5 p.m. at Crooner's Supper Club. We'll have dinner, and you can choose beef, fish, vegan options. Lots of conversation with Matt. I'm actually going to be interviewing him about his life and his work here at AM 950. Lots of folks have created video messages congratulating him, and you need to be there. Now, the tickets are $75 a person. That includes this marvelous gourmet meal as well as the program. All you have to do is go to am950radio.com. That's where you order your tickets. It's Sunday, March 30th, 2 to 5 p.m. We are celebrating Maddie McNeil and 15 years. Oh, please come and join us. You don't want to miss it.
Located just north of 50th in France, the Great Wall Restaurant has provided a delicious taste of authentic Chinese cuisine since 1981. Specializing in Szechuan and Peking dishes, they offer one of the most extensive menus in the Twin Cities. Favorites include hot and sour soup, pan-fried dumplings, and mushu pork with homemade Chinese pancakes. Stop by their Edina location or call for takeout at 952-927-4439. See the full menu at greatwallrestaurant.us.
Hi, this is Frank Brown of Minuteman Press Uptown with a question for our listeners that use social media.
Do you want an authentic way to connect with people in your life? Something more meaningful. Thousands of people just like you know that when it matters, count on Minuteman Uptown for custom quality digital prints. From Canva creations to self-published books, from business cards to banners and signs, we print everything. Find more information at mpuptown.com. Contact Minuteman Uptown today, and we'll help you connect to what matters.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about helping you and your loved ones improve and enjoy your quality of life. And joining me today, my name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today is Melissa Spees, board-certified music therapist and neurologic music therapy fellow, and I think the biggest proponent of quality of life that I've met in a long time. And she is here discussing the high-quality music therapy services available through her organization called Living Spirit Therapy Services. If you have a question for us, please give us a call, 952-946-6205, or text us at 612-999-3426. Melissa, how can our listeners contact you or your organization if they have questions or want more information?
Yes, my email, melissa@livingspirittherapy.com. Our website is livingspirittherapy.com. My phone number is 651-363-3936.
All right. Last segment here, so I want to make sure we cover some of these important things. You mentioned earlier that you don't follow a single model of therapy. And why do you think your model works better?
Yeah, so some practitioners and organizations are strongly rooted in a single model of therapy. For example, behavioral, improvisational, or humanistic. At Living Spirit Therapy Services, we strongly believe that to appropriately serve the various needs of and various aspects of service, that we need to use different aspects of different models to meet the many needs of therapy. For example, the funders and regulatory models need the data and reports from a behavioral model. Very large percentage of our society, unfortunately, has experienced trauma, requiring us to approach clients from a trauma-informed perspective. Minnesota is beautifully diverse. And so we need to approach individuals and situations from a multicultural lens. The gentleness, curiosity, and client directedness of the humanistic and psychodynamic approaches often lead to growth in clients and allow us to report smaller steps towards meeting goals and objectives and make our notes more relatable to family members and non-medical people. The musical skills developed in the improvisational model are incredibly helpful, and so on. Many individual therapists follow a single model of therapy, which I think is inappropriate to our current society. We use the different models of therapy at different times to meet whatever different need that we have in a given moment. And we use the neurologic music therapy system overall to guide how we make decisions for things.
Okay. Now, so as we talked earlier, when you first sit down with a client and you're kind of doing an assessment and evaluation, you're trying to kind of figure out, what are the goals? Do sometimes the goals change?
Yes.
Because I think when I mean, I look at all, I work with a music therapist next door to our hospice company. And, I see a lot of times mothers or caregivers bringing in people, children, young adults. And I just wonder, all the different implications or the different reasons why they're trying to seek therapy.
Right.
And I'm just wondering, how do you guys see the needs maybe changing
They
as
do.
a person starts to maybe peel away the onion layer as to
Yes.
resolving this issue, but now they've got an opportunity to resolve maybe something a little
Right.
bit deeper?
Yeah, so we start with the goal and the objective that would make the most impact and is leading to more challenges. So for example, if a young child with autism is struggling with attention, and also struggling with reading or learning academic content. We have to focus on the attention before we can focus on learning academic content. Because if they can't focus, they can't do the next step.
Right.
So we focus on whatever that first step is that will cascade onto other things. So we find the root thing that will make the most difference. And then as people change and make progress, the goals and objectives will change to meet their needs as well.
So do you think people sometimes will short circuit? They'll want to have something happen, but they don't understand the root cause
all the time. And that's exactly why this neurologic music therapy approach is so effective, because it helps figure out what the root problem is. If you skip those steps of figuring out what the non-musical needs are and why they are happening, it's very easy to think that communication is the biggest problem, when the communication issues might be a problem because there's a cognition issue,
right,
or there's an attention issue, or there's a motor issue. So you have to figure out what is causing the other problems to happen first.
Right. Right. So is one of the kind of foundational goals is to create independence?
Yes, absolutely. Everything that we do is to increase independence, and we incorporate the client in determining the care plan as much as possible. We work with the system, other people on their care planning team, be it a family member, social worker, teachers, lots of different folks in different positions incorporated together to work collaboratively to achieve the most independence for that individual and the best quality of life for them. And this is another piece that we were talking about off the air, is that it's all about quality of life. Right. And so often people think, oh yeah, I got a TBI, or my kid has Down syndrome, or some terrible diagnoses happened. Those are awful things, and you don't want that. Sure, life would be easier, but just because something really bad happened doesn't mean that somebody's life is over. You just have to figure out how to adapt and adjust things. One of the most beautiful things that we see is how deeply loved individuals are. And it puts the humanity back for individuals. Gosh, I'm working with a number of people right now who are mature adults and regular aged adults who are very low cognition and have had previously just been housed, if you will.
Sure. Right.
But it's astounding the level of response and the quality and joy and peace that you see with the connections that we can make in music therapy. To be able to take someone who had a bad quality of life before and allow them to live in a way that is meaningful. That's where our name came from. Living Spirit Therapy Services is making sure that regardless of what happened to someone, that they have quality of life, and that we can open the windows and the doors to their spirit so that they can be individuals who are meaningful contributors to society, instead of just a body that needs to be taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all about quality of life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much again for the opportunity to be here and for all of the incredible work that you do to advocate for our community and those in it.
Thank you. Oh, listen, I hope you enjoyed today's show. Please feel free to contact us with any questions or comments you have regarding today's conversation. You can reach us anytime by voice or text at 612-999-3426. Join us again next Saturday at noon for another broadcast. And thank you for listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. Until next time, choose to live well.
Why must the world be so cold? They've gone against what was told. Thinking rape is cool? Think about it. They think it's not